Hey, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the nightmare. Well, we're about ready. We're about through the nightmare, I should say. Yeah, we're rolling. Old Ford had a low oil pressure issue. I put a gauge in it, just a manual gauge, and plumbed it through the cab, and I was getting like, oh, you'd first start up about 30 psi, and then motor would warm up, and it takes 20-30 minutes for a motor to warm up really good, like where your oil gets about the same temperature as the water, and boy, at an idle it'd go down to like 5 psi. I thought, man, we're on borrowed time for the 460, so I finally broke down and rolled rods and mains in. I didn't take no video of that. I was too enthralled in what I was doing under there. Yeah, check out my motor mount there. That ain't stock. Yeah, this is a 460 out of I think a 72 Mercury Marquis. This truck originally had a 360 in it. We put that in, I don't know, close to 30 years ago. Yeah. Yep. And what was interesting, here's what our bearings looked like. Yeah, we we got the good out of them things. Yeah, about all that's what would have went in the upper rod. All them was showing copper. There's a lower rod. He's trying to show a little on the edge there. And naturally all your mains on the bottoms, they was showing copper. And what's kind of cool, I don't know, probably can't even see it. I doubt if it'll show up in the camera. I can't even hardly see it. I'm gonna have to get some glasses. Doggone it. Now they actually got the Ford logo on them. The Ford bearings, original bearings. Put a new oil pump on it too. Boy, we had to go around with that thing. I ordered a Melling high volume pump, and it was the same body of pump. And I should have videoed that, but I think there was some profanity going on, so I didn't video it. But yeah, here's your original Ford pump, and that Melling, it came with a cast flange right here, just a flat cast flange with a hole, 2 5/16 bolt hole locations for a pickup tube. And of course, my original one just had the old drive-in tube from the factory. And we've got another pump coming in Monday, but I didn't want to wait that long. But what was interesting about that Melling, it had this boss right here cast in, and from the factory they drilled in about a 1/2 inch. They bored it about a 1/2 inch deep, and I couldn't handle, I don't like it whenever something's down, so I went ahead and I took my oil pump all apart and bored that out. I just went in with a 1/2 inch drill bit first and broke through, and then took a die grinder, and it was only about a 1/4 inch thick what I had to work on. Cleaned it all out, got it to where I could drive my tube back in, and then I had to make a cover plate for where their bolt-on mount was, and just got that done. Yeah, I'd kind of forgotten them 460s. They had the front sump and rear sump, and 2 or 3 different oil pump styles. Yeah, we put that in. Oh yeah, and we're trying this. I was gonna put some Pennzoil in it, like 1030, pretty typical automotive oil. Man, that stuff is almost like $8 a quart. So we're trying this Fram oil. I think we're gonna try some of this in the equipment too. I don't know if I'm just putting that 1540 in that 460. And this stuff was, I think, $13.65. for a gallon. So that's a lot cheaper than $8 a quart. About half. But yeah, this is unfortunately, this is what it looks like. I'm just mopping up now, and yep, that's what it looks like. It is yeah, whenever you're working from the bottom of that engine, it's always a dirty environment. Should have power washed everything before I started, but if it had been a customer's vehicle, I would have, but on my own, I just roll with it. And my front seal looks like it's leaking a little bit. Daggone on them. My 302's that way, and I think my 351 Windsor's that way. In the Ranchero, you got to take this front cover off, and the seal drives inward. That's one drawback on that deal. But oh well, I didn't design it. Yeah, this is what happens when you keep a vehicle too long. You end up having to work on it. 1974 truck. But I don't know. I mean, this truck, gosh, even a new one, I wouldn't know what the new one would cost today. Just cabin chassis is probably $60,000 for like a 350 series similar, and then I don't know if you had one with the bed on it, you're probably up to $100,000. So we can spend a little money on him. We can spend a little money. Now the drawback, yeah, our old 460, this truck's around 10,000 pounds loaded. Of course, that's just what it weighs all the time. 456 rears in the back. So the 460's on the highway at 55, he's probably humming 2,800. He kind of wishes he had another gear. 8 miles to the gallon. I don't think that even changes much like on country roads, you know, where you're running around 25, 30. I think it's still around 8. So it'd be nice if I had a little overdrive there, but yeah. Yep. Definitely want to be on the clock nowadays when you're running them 460s around. Yeah, I think our fuel here was 458 yesterday in town, and I guess it's gonna, some people speculate it's gonna go higher or it's gonna stay this way a long time. I guess we'll have to get used to it. All right, guys, we'll talk at you later. I gotta clean this mess up. See ya.